What's up, guys? Welcome back to What Cheers. I'm Nick, as always. So in this video, I'm just going to give as brief as I can of a rundown of my trip to New York City and what the beer scene is like down there, and how you kind of get around and check out places. If you're interested in checking out this video, great. If not, you can skip it. Obviously, it's just a little update on my experience. First time trying to do a brew crawl, basically, down in New York City a few weeks ago. So I put some stuff down on my phone. I'm just going to reference this because I just emailed myself a bunch of information, and I'm basically just gonna wing it and see what happens. So yeah, guys, I went down to New York City, basically to just do a brew tour, go to different bars, and just see what the scene was in Manhattan and in Brooklyn. I ended up going down and staying with a good buddy of mine who's a wine connoisseur, and he kind of showed me around some places. I kind of found some places on my own, and I mean, the best way to go to New York City if you're in the Northeast is take the Amtrak, go to New York City, and learn the subway system. I found that the subway system was pretty easy to learn after, just a couple times doing it, but when you first get on the subway system, it can be a little bit confusing. But if you go to New York City, and if you're in the Northeast corridor, take the Amtrak, don't bring a car, just use the subway system. It's like $30 for a full week of an all access subway pass, so you can get anywhere in the five boroughs of New York, and it's just great. So the first day I got in, the first night I got in, I should say, yeah, we actually went to Torst in Brooklyn, which is apparently one of the best, or thought to be one of the best beer bars in the world. I had no idea about that, and so I went there, and it is incredible. It was incredible. Very kind of hole in the wall place, very unassuming. Barely any real sign in Brooklyn. Pretty small bar, but the tap list was killer. The people that work there and really, really know their stuff. Obviously, the management. But what was best about that was I met up with Darwin from Darwin's Beer Reviews. You guys probably watch him as well. I knew he lives in the area, so I reached out to him and told him I was going to Torst, and he was able to meet up with me like right then. It was very, very cool. Darwin is a great guy and very, very knowledgeable. So him and I had some beers together at Torst, and they have like 21 taps there. And by the way, I'm going to put links to all the places that I mentioned in this video. I'm going to put links to them in the description so you guys can go to the websites, and then find their Facebook pages, whatever, Twitters, and if you guys ever use this as a reference guide to go to New York. So yeah, Torst, they had like 21 taps. That particular night, the draft list wasn't anything that was too insanely crazy, but they had Alpine Duet, and I had Even More Jesus on tap, which was just fantastic. But I know from seeing their tap lists other times, it's pretty ridiculous. It's probably one of the best lists in New York. I tried to get the Carton regular coffee. I had that at Extreme Beer Fest last year. Unfortunately, that beer had kicked, but Carton regular coffee is amazing, and we don't get Carton in Rhode Island. They're in New Jersey. So after we went to Torst, checked out Dirck The Norseman. Dirck The Norseman is also in Brooklyn, and I believe it's also called Greenpoint Beer and Ale Company in Brooklyn. So it is a brewery, which I had no idea about, didn't even know it existed. We got there really late, and they had already closed, but they let us still get beer anyways after closing, which was really cool. They had like 16 taps there. We tried their Super Fund Russian Imperial Stout, which was really, really freaking good. Also, we tried 2 pale ales or IPAs. I can't remember. I think they were pale ales. Can't remember what they were, but either way, that Dirck The Norseman, Greenpoint Beer and Ale, they're definitely doing some really good beer there, and I haven't heard anything about them. And the place was pretty big as well. big, open tap room and everything like that. So that was really cool. After that, I think Darwin went home after that, and we went to a place called the Diamond, also in Brooklyn. They had like 8 taps, very, very small tap list, cool place. That was where I got to try Grimm Brewing Company, which is also in Brooklyn. I got to try their Tesseract 8% double IPA, which is extremely similar to Heady Topper. In fact, on the menu it even said Grimm's response to Heady Topper or something like that, and that beer was just phenomenal. That's Grimm's Tesseract. After that, we went to a place called Spritzenhaus, in Brooklyn. They had 25 taps or so. There was nothing, I don't remember if there was anything that blew me away there, but it still was another really cool bar. My buddy had Bourbon County. I don't remember what the hell I had. I was pretty drunk at that point in the evening, to be quite honest. It had been a long day. I also checked out the next day in Manhattan. I checked out a place called 124 Old Rabbit Club in Manhattan, and that place was the most dive bar I've ever seen in my life. It was just a basement underneath a building in Manhattan, and it was like pitch black in there except for like 2 candles lit. It was really, really cool though. They had about 60 bottles of all European and Belgian type breweries, and it was all bottles. And I had the Evil Twin I Love You with my Stout. It's supposed to be based off of Even More Jesus. It was okay. It was pretty good. Wasn't blown away or anything by it. And I'm not the hugest Belgian style person when it comes to beer, but I really I like to try everything and try some new stuff. And that place was very, very cool. So the next place I went to after the old 124 Old Rabbit Club was the Barcade. Barcade is a extremely cool bar / arcade and pub. They serve food and everything in Manhattan. Incredible place. They have all your favorite arcade games from when you were a kid. That you'd beg your parents to take you to the arcade and you go play these games. They had all these original arcade games just set up throughout the building with an incredible tap list. I just sort of stumbled into this place. I'd read about it, but we were just walking down the street and I stumbled into it, which makes it even better, right? It was a happy accident. So they had about 25 drafts there, and like I said, it's just all craft beer and classic arcade games in this pretty big space too. I had Knee Deep's Simtra triple IPA on tap there. Obviously, Knee Deep puts out some amazing beers, and we do not get them here in Rhode Island. The only place I've ever gotten them was in California, so to see Knee Deep Simtra on tap in Manhattan was really, really cool. It was fresh. It was delicious. The next place we went to, which was pretty close by actually, is called Proletariat. Proletariat had about 12 beers on tap. Very small place, sort of like a speakeasy kind of vibe. Pretty dark. I really like the vibe of that place. The guys working there knew their shit. They knew their beer. Very knowledgeable. I had other half super fun pale ale for the first time there in a can. It was fresh. It was awesome. Really, really enjoyed that because I've been looking forward to trying all of other half's beers, really. They also had Surly and Lervig's 1349 Black Ale on draft. That was a collaboration with a metal band. I think the metal band might be called 1349. I can't remember, but that was a really huge imperial black ale with tons of coffee, tons of malt, and anything from Surly is usually a really good beer. That one was surprisingly good because I had never heard of it, but it was just really great on draft, super rich and dark and coffee and chocolate. So that was the Surly and Lervig 1349. After that, I went to a place called the Arrogant Swine, which was back in Brooklyn. Arrogant Swine does Carolina whole hog barbecue, and they do it right. The guy running the place, Tyson, is very, very good. He does a great job over there. It's a very big space in there, actually, very open. They had about 19 taps, and also their beers on tap there were just awesome. Excellent selection. I had Cartons. I had a really good beer by Carton there. Very rare beer to see on draft, actually. It was the 077XX, which is their East Coast double IPA. Basically, it's a double version of boat beer. They had played around with a lot of versions of a higher amped up version of boat beer, and they settled on that particular one, which is now called the 077XX. So it's basically a double boat beer. Boat beer is a great sessionable beer by Carton, and that 077XX is actually one of their highest rated beers now. So it's just fantastic, really good stuff. They also had one of the craziest things I've seen in this place, the Arrogant Swine. They have these projection screens on the wall, and they're huge. And they have a Wii U system set up to it. So I was sitting at the bar. I had pictures of this, just playing Mario Kart on the Wii U on a projection screen at the bar, like across from the bar on the wall. Very, very cool. There's all sorts of weird and awesome things going on like that in Brooklyn, in Manhattan. Everyone's sort of living outside the box there, having fun. It's a very different kind of atmosphere in that area. It's just a very, very cool, hip, fun place to be. We went to another place that night that was one of my favorites as well. The thing about Brooklyn, you have to understand, it's in a very weird sort of industrial looking area, certain parts of it anyway, sort of industrial buildings. And we went to this place called The Well. And The Well was it used to be an old concert venue that they recently changed over into it's still an event space, but it used to be a concert venue, and now they just have this huge, imagine an empty concert venue, with big staircases down, huge open floor. They have picnic tables inside there. They have a huge beer garden patio in the back. But inside they have a giant long bar with 60 taps. 60 taps of really, really good beer. And the guy there, I believe his name is Ian, he really knew his stuff. That place just blew me away because you walk in, it's just a giant empty venue with a huge craft beer bar. And there was nobody in there. It was really, really weird. And like I said, there's these industrial buildings in Brooklyn. It's late at night, you don't really know where things are, and you just walk into these incredible places. And so there I had main beer company Mo pint of that pale ale from them, which is awesome beer. Mo is great. Also had Maine Another One IPA, had a pint of that, which is fantastic. I think Maine Another One is better than Maine Lunch, and in my opinion, I've thought that for a while, so keep that on the down low. But Another One is definitely, in my opinion, better than Lunch. So my last night there, I went and looked up all the draft list from all the other craft beer bars that I was interested in going to. I looked them all up, and I picked out the one that I thought had the best draft list, and I took the subway there, and it was actually turned out to be a place called 1 Mile House in Manhattan, and it had the best draft list. It just really did. It had everything, and you could tell they knew what they were doing. They had all the best local breweries too on tap and all their best beers, so you knew that there was a good connection there. I finally got to have one of my biggest wants of the whole New York area was Other Half's all green everything. Got to have I think two 10-ounce or 12-ounce pours of that. Absolutely ridiculous beer. Absolutely, it's up there with the best double IPA that Hill Farmstead makes, best double IPA that Treehouse makes, Trillium makes, Nolan Brewing Company. It's literally, it's right up there to that level. Absolutely, no questions asked. It's the highest rated beer that Other Half does, and deservingly so. It's a 10.5% double IPA, triple IPA, but man, that beer was just, it blew me away. It was what I hoped for, because I've heard a lot of talk about how good their IPAs are and their beers in general, so that was awesome. Also got to try their other half's Nice Life double IPA there. It was really good. It wasn't as good as the all green everything, and so it is what it is. If I had maybe tried that one first and then the all green everything, but yeah, either way, they're doing incredible beer. And I don't believe they can all green everything. I don't know if they do growlers on that even. It might just be draft only. The other brewery that I had at 1 Mile House that I had no idea about, never even heard of them, and it was incredible, was Barrier Brewing. Barrier Brewing out of Oceanside, New York. While I was there, I was actually texting Darwin what was on draft, and he could maybe point me in the right direction. And yeah, that Barrier Brewing, they had 2 beers on there that were incredible. They had the Money IPA, which is all Citra IPA. That tasted just like something from Hill Farmstead. It was just so fantastic, as good of a Citra hoppy beer as could possibly be. The other one I had there was called Daddy Warbucks, which was a double version of the Money IPA. I'm not sure if it was all Citra again or if it had other hops, but it was called Daddy Warbucks. It was a double Money. Great names, by the way. And I believe the bartender told me that beer was actually brewed for 1 Mile House. There's some sort of connection there with 1 Mile House and Barrier Brewing. I don't really remember the whole story, but that's whatever, But that's really cool that they had that there, and it was just, both of those beers blew me away, and I'd never heard of this Barrier Brewing before. I also had Carton's Carton of Milk, Milk Stout. Delicious, super low ABV, just fantastic milk stout. And obviously Carton's one of the better breweries in the Mid-Atlantic in New Jersey. They're just killing a lot of what they're doing. They're doing really good work. And so the last thing I did on this trip was the next morning, my buddy and Chris and I, we got up at, I think it was like 7 a.m. and we did a video review of Bourbon County Coffee Stout. I surprised him. He wanted to do a beer review with me. I said I'm going to bring one of the best beers in the world, and I brought 2013-2014 Bourbon County Coffee Stout to review with him, and he had to go to work that morning, so we did the review at like 7 in the morning. It was a lot of fun. Super tired, but just absolutely delicious. As you guys probably know, Bourbon County Coffee is just fantastic, and it really was a perfect review to do that early in the morning. Perfect beer to get your day started. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I'm going to be posting that review. You guys will be able to see that very soon as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I went home after that. I'm going to put all the links in the description from all the places I went to and talked about in this video, so you can guys go to their websites, go to their Facebook pages, Twitter, whatever, if you want to go see what I'm talking about. And make sure you guys go to my Facebook page, the What Cheers Beer Reviews Facebook page. Make sure you like that page because I'm sort of recapping my whole trip right now in a video for you, for everyone on YouTube. But if you follow the What Cheers Beer Reviews page on Facebook, you'll see me post pictures and check-ins of where I am and what I'm doing while I'm actually on these trips. I go to a lot of places, been traveling a lot, and it's a good way to keep up to date with me because I can't come on YouTube and do a video, on the spot for every single thing that I'm doing, all the places I'm going. So it's best for you guys to follow me on Facebook. I've never really done a recap video of one of my trips before, so you guys will have to let me know if you enjoyed this video. Did you enjoy hearing me talk about the places that I went to and sort of give you guys some suggestions of where to go and stuff like that? Obviously, there was a ton more places I could check out in New York. New York City's huge, and I guess what I took away from this trip as far as the New York beer scene is that they're doing really good stuff. I didn't even get to go to really any breweries except for that one, the Dirck The Norseman, and I just went to a ton of great beer bars, pubs, all doing all different food, doing all different things. They all had their own theme, their own vibe to it, which I really, really thought was just fantastic. And they all had really good beers on tap. So I was impressed. It was really fun to ride around the subway, learn the subway system. If you guys go to New York, definitely get yourself an all-access Metro card for the week or however long you're there, and just ride the subways. Use Google Maps to take you to places, and go on Beer Advocate, do your research, look up. There might be new places when you go. Check out the breweries, make sure you know their hours, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, guys, if there's any questions about anything in this video, about any of the places I went to or the beers I tried, or any questions at all, feel free to message me. I'll be happy to answer them for you. But yeah, guys, I think that pretty much wraps up my New York City, beer tour that I did. And yeah, there's lots of great beer out there and lots of great breweries. So yeah, definitely go down there and check it out. It's a fun city in general, even if you weren't going for beer. Go to New York City. Just fantastic. Brooklyn and Manhattan is awesome. Brooklyn is really blowing up right now, so that's where some of the best breweries are. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video update or beer review. So cheers. See you next time.